Hello and welcome to FBL Broadcasting, and we have Aylesbury Mayor Mike Smith with us. How you doing, Mike? I've got you.
You hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you okay. I just I had to flick that quickly over again. That little button went out again. I was on it this time. I was on it. I got it done. So all good. Yeah, that really does catch me out a bit. It caught me out at 3 minutes and 28 seconds like last time. So one learns. So how are you? You okay?
I'm still okay, yes. Still still slightly bored at times, but in good health, and that's the main thing.
That is the
Keeping in touch with people, even if I can't actually see them.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of developments in the last 2 weeks. I mean, schools are reopening on the 15th. Schools are already, is it the primary schools, not primary, infant schools have opened, haven't they? So, what, obviously the government's been talking a lot about, for instance, opening a lot of stuff up. But is the Aylesbury Town Council at full capacity now, doing everything that it was normally doing within reason, for instance?
Yeah, apart from the public events, we are, so sanitary allotments, the grass cutting, the other sort of local environmental services we do are all functioning pretty much as normal. And all the sort of office admin side is being done, even though everyone's working from home. Again, people have learned to adapt, and it's gone surprisingly well, I think.
Interesting you said about the allotments. Did we ever talk about the allotments through all our conversations? I don't think we ever
We
did.
talked about them probably near the beginning of our conversations,
That's a long
because I
time
think
ago.
that was quite an early decision to keep the allotments open,
Yeah.
obviously to give people something to do, chance of exercise, growing their own healthy food when, at times there might have been possible shortages of some kinds of food. So, there are lots of positives. We got the message out there very clearly that people had to be socially distanced, which is generally possible to do because our allotment plots are a decent size, and you can keep yourself away even if the animal on the next plot is working. You can generally sort of keep your distance from each other, and that's gone quite well.
A lot of people
And
do.
I think our allotment waiting lists are now growing again because people have realised it's a good way to get some exercise and spend some time productively.
Now, a little bird in my ear from years gone by who had an allotment, he did say there was issues with people stealing food. Is that something the Aylesbury Town Council have had any dealings with? Yeah.
It's been known to happen, sadly. We've also had, on occasions, people breaking into sheds. Some people put sheds up on their allotments where they can store tools and so on, and they have been broken into. Yeah, it's one of those things that is a very, is a it's not a pleasant. No crime is pleasant, but you just think people are just trying to enjoy themselves and be productive, and that can be completely spoiled by someone going along and doing something like that. Um, by their nature, allotment plots are open, big expanses of land. And all allotments holders have to have keys to be able to get in and out whenever they want to. So you can't make them totally secure. You can't have someone patrolling all the time. You can't have CCTV all over every plot. And the police do what they can, but it's one of those things. It comes in little phases now and again. I think at the moment, aside from a few crops being stolen, we haven't had anything more than that. Still unpleasant that happens.
Yeah, a lot of hard work goes into, producing, veg and everything else in an allotment. And I mean, my dad used to be an avid gardener, and we had a big back garden, so I know how much work, because he used to make me work out there. So it was like, when you hear someone has, stolen. I mean, a friend of mine who it happened to, they were devastated. That is like breaking into their car, into their house. They feel like, I've done all that hard work and somebody's come along and just taken what they wanted. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, some people feel so strongly about the things that they've taken the trouble to grow. It's almost like kidnapping one of their children. If their prize marrow goes missing.
Yeah, good one. Good one. I like that. Is there a prize marrow competition that the Aylesbury Town Council do?
There is an allotment competition that we normally hold every year. Won't be happening this year, sadly. It's one of those summer events, and obviously we have to go round. A group of judges have to go round and inspect the plots, which can't be done at the moment. Social distancing and all that. So one of a number of things that we like to recognise good work by our citizens, and sadly we can't do that this year.
Well, that's a wonderful thing to cover off, actually. I'm glad that's kind of sidelined what we was going to actually talk about. I mean, we've got a little bit of a time frame for today's broadcast, but yeah, that's hopefully people will take that, and that'd be a nice little snippet to throw out there as well for people to, if they're thinking, especially if you've got a small garden, there's not much you can do, is there, really? And I mean, I have a small garden, and it's a bit like, go and produce your own veg, and put some food on the table. Literally, that's.
Well, a lot of the housing growth in Aylesbury at the moment is flats or modern houses, which tend to have much smaller gardens. So we have got about 700 and something allotment plots across the town, and they're pretty much all taken up, and some of our sites have waiting lists. We have divided some of the plots into two smaller ones, because a full-size allotment is quite a lot of work. So some people like the smaller plots, and that gives the opportunity to have more people using. Great.
Oh, that's good. So is the council looking at expanding then and getting some more allotment space, so to speak?
We would love to, but getting land for allotments when the alternative use of that land is for housing, so the price is way beyond the resources of the town council. We would love to do more. What is happening is that some of the new developments around the boundaries of the town, such as Kingsbrook, where I paid a visit on a socially distanced mayoral appointment a couple of weeks ago. They have some allotment plots. I think Berryfields have got some as well. So it's good that that's a growing movement.
So is that
no pun intended?
Is that the council saying if you want to build on this land, you must give some allotment space? Is that, or is it just that the home builders are saying, well, we're going to allocate this, which I find extreme if they did. So is that something active that the council is doing to try and?
I think it's generally that the council likes something like that. Well, leisure facilities of all kinds. Some developers are very cooperative and very willing. Others not so.
Ooh.
I will give a positive plug for the developers of Kingsbrook, where that's the one just over by the canal and on the way over to Broughton and Beerton. That's a development that's going to grow into about 2,500 houses, but I can't remember the percentage, but I think it's something like 40% of the area will be kept green. They're working with the local wildlife trust and RSPB to make sure there are habitats for wildlife. They've got lots. They've got wide streets with plenty of green spaces. It's a very good example of a modern development that works for everyone, I think.
That's good. I walked up there a few months ago up by the canal, and the canal has changed massively. And if you're a photographer, take it. There's, you can get some nice pictures down there as well. Not that I'm a photographer, obviously, but yeah, the whole change and what they're doing, it does look very nice. It's like you're saying, they're keeping it in, and they're thinking a little bit more. I mean, I haven't looked at the houses around that way. I was on the other side of the canal, but it does look, I think it's, an allotment land is, and it's nice that that they're allowing that to be part of their actual build. And I mean, I don't know how many flats are up there. Is there a lot of flats over that area?
No, I don't think there's. I think the average size of the houses is bigger, and I think the smallest, they range between 2 and 5 bedrooms. So I think some of those will be flats. I didn't get a chance to walk around the whole area, but there usually are some flats amongst the houses. I think with Kingsbrook, it's a majority of what we'd call a traditional house, whereas some of the other developments seem to have a lot of flats. And I do wonder where the market for those flats is going to come from, but they seem to be putting them up and they seem to be selling them.
Well, flats, I think it's more where it's all coming from is people getting on the stepping stone to buy houses. I mean, if you've got to start somewhere, it's all right having your money in a bank account, but if the price keeps on going up, you always have to keep on putting more money in. So it's that horrible, chasing. So I think that's the biggest reason why people probably buy flats. They start off there and then they move on, hopefully to a bigger house.
Yeah, but if all the flats are in and around Aylesbury, and then when their family grows and they want to move, they move out of Aylesbury, then the sort of community spirit is quite hard to maintain when you've got a regular turnover of people. And that's something that worries me about the growth of Aylesbury. I think we can't stop the growth. It's the government's decision that this is a growth area and it could bring a lot of benefits. But when there are so many flats, as you say, which tend to be first step on the ladder and people will move on, the other aspect is that there are not that many new jobs being created, so the majority of those will have to commute elsewhere to work. So if they're leaving home early in the morning, coming home late evening, they get less opportunity to be part of the community and sort of have the sort of traditional involvement in their village or estate or whatever it might be, which I think is something that Aylesbury's been very good at over the years, and I hope we can manage to continue that.
Okay. Sorry, Carol just wrote on here just saying my mic's a little bit low, so I've just turned that up a bit. So, yeah, it's a good point there, but we are close to London, aren't we? So at the end of the day, I think we're going to get a lot of push from London as it becomes more expensive to be there. So,
yes, a lot of people buying houses in Aylesbury are moving out from London or the immediate suburbs, and I think sort of the Harrow, Rickmansworth area is an area where we're getting a lot of people moving to Aylesbury because to them our houses are so much better value than where they come from.
yeah,
And we've got countryside and green space and lovely places around. So who can blame them for wanting to come here?
yeah. Well, I've travelled around the world. One half to Australia and back again. But a lot of the time, we do put down where we live, and it's a very interesting. When I come back, people was like, "Oh, Aylesbury this, Aylesbury that," and I'm like, "Well, actually, it's no different than most places you go. We've got a lot of greenery, and I hear that a lot from certain countries you go to. They go, England's so green, and I mean, we're close to London. We have quite a good idea of commuting to different parts of the country with motorways, and like you say, we got lovely woods and everything. So, yeah, I think you're totally right there. So, yeah, it is a shame when you hear people put things down, but then again, at the end of the day, I think that's just normally part of the human way. when you're so
Hmm.
if you it, depending on where you come from as well, isn't it? I suppose if you've come from a very vibrant place that's loads of clubs and loads of whatever going on, and then you come to a if you live in the middle of London and then come to Aylesbury, it's not going to be as vibrant as, for instance, London or any major city centre, I would say. Or would you
Yeah,
disagree?
no, I agree, and it comes down to what are you looking for. I mean, my clubbing days are long since over. In fact, they didn't really start. It wasn't something I enjoyed even when I was young, but for some people, that's something that really matters. So, we're not going to pretend that we're a rival to London or even somewhere like Oxford, but we've got our own charm to offer.
I've definitely got our own charm. Definitely, you seem to have the charm as well. By the way, especially the way you get around my questions. Well, we're only going to probably go for half an hour today. But so I just want to quickly go over the information that came out today. Obviously, there was no briefing over the weekend, which
Mm-hmm.
I've been a bit busy and I kind of didn't know. And then I was checking a few things. I was like, "Hey, where's the press briefing?" Then I looked it up and it was like that was a bit interesting. What do you think to that? That's one thing.
As to why they're not daily,
Yeah,
I believe the official line is that they weren't getting as much of an audience, and perhaps they didn't feel it was something they needed to do daily. I think the daily statistics are still being released, but they're not being presented in the same way. Um, and that may be a sign that the government feels that things are on track.
yeah,
It's not the level of crisis where they need to brief the nation every single day. I think our figures compared to other places in Europe are still not great, but they are certainly improving. So what was it, 55 today, 77 yesterday? Number of
I didn't
deaths.
I didn't know how many yesterday. I only know today was
Right,
55. So
yeah. And Scotland and Northern Ireland had none. And London had none, apparently.
I didn't pick up on that.
So
I was writing things
um,
down.
I think that whether it was yesterday or today, there were no deaths in London. So I think London had its peak earlier and has been turned off. So maybe that's a sign things are going to go for the rest of us. Let's hope so.
Well, yeah, definitely. We hope so. I mean, I can bring I'll bring the graph that they had on earlier. So I might just have to this software. I
Okay.
know we're all still on. It's interesting. It likes to do its thing where it flicks the buttons, but it didn't. So yeah, we can see on here that London. I mean, I don't know if anybody can actually see my mouse going over, but I don't know if you can see it as well. But yeah, we can see London's gone shot straight down, and all are kind of on the trend. Well, a massive trend down, except for Wales, that seems to be in between about 1,000, doesn't it? It seems to be up and down.
Mm.
But what I did find interesting, I mean, there's our 55 for in the last 24 hours. Where is it? I missed it. Have I not got that one? Ah, they didn't include that one. Which was the traffic. We're up to 75% of road users from what I saw last time, from Friday, I think. Which was, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was. People have started obviously getting back in their cars and driving around, and which is kind of normal. It's everybody's getting back to
I
work
think it
now.
is, and the government are encouraging more people to go back to work, but at the same time saying keep off public transport as much as you can. So for most people, the only alternative is to get in their car and drive. So I think the growth in car traffic is entirely understandable. I don't know what the figures are for buses and trains. I presume they're creeping up, but not anything like the levels that we're used to.
Yeah, well, public transport definitely. It's now you've got to wear coverings, haven't you? So, I mean, something we
Mhm.
discussed, and actually, you got away with it. Where's your mask? Where's your covering that you said you were going to create?
Do you want me to go and get it?
Oh, did you do it?
I have got one.
Go on then. Go on then. Did you make it?
Give me a second. I'll be back
What?
with you.
I'll give you a second. I'll keep everybody entertained. If you're getting value from this, please subscribe, please like, please comment as well, and keep an eye on our live feed if you're looking on the YouTube channel, because there's loads of things. The Bucks debate. Carol, who's been commenting today. Hi, Carol. Thanks for watching, and thanks for commenting and telling me my volume wasn't up that loud. If I put it up too loud, there is an issue that sometimes it picks up a lot of the background. The laptop that seems to be running all our software seems to be making a little bit of noise. So I try and balance it out. And if it's that bad, I'll create a video and do it. Oh, you didn't make that. There is no way you made that.
I didn't make this. No, I bought it.
Oh, now see, you're supposed to make it.
I'm sorry, Martin.
I'm disappointed.
There you go.
I'm folding my hands now. I'm folding my arms, and I'm going to say, you're supposed to make one.
I tried, I failed, and I found an excellent locally based supplier of these.
Who was the locally based supplier?
It's I can't remember the lady's name. She runs an ironing service down Bedgrove Way, and she's making these in a whole range of colours and styles. I bought a couple for myself, a couple for my partner, mother-in-law, and other people. I will. I'll send. If I can find the link, I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, please do.
But there are plenty of people making masks, and plenty of people making their own, which are very good.
I made my own. I even put, your symbol on there.
Have I seen yours yet?
Pardon?
Have I seen yours yet?
Yeah, I wore it. Hang on a sec. See, now you've got me going around trying to dig out my stuff. It's around there somewhere. I can't find it off the top of my hat, unfortunately. But I did. There is a video. Right. Okay. That's it. We'll have to. I've got this new software that I'm going to try and move us to for our next one. But that would have been easier on that than rather on this software. But yeah, there's a video on YouTube. It was. Yep. I even said, Mayor, this is how you make one. I mentioned you there, so. If you're not going to watch my content, Mayor, I'm trying to make you famous, and you know. So let's quickly pop back for the little notes that I wrote. Then I can throw these notes away. Dentists are open today as well, by the way. Any problem with your teeth? better teeth than me. I mean, this is.
They're all still there. I'm probably due a checkup, so
due a checkup.
I think that's the thing. I don't expect to phone for a checkup and get one next week. Likewise, haircut, which I'm overdue for.
Yes, mine's getting a lot worse. It's just, even my girlfriend said, "Will you get a haircut somehow, somewhere?" But there's a little thing that my kids might love. I'm going to let them do it, and there's a reason behind that as well, which goes back to Centrivax. But that's another thing for another day. Hospital visits and outpatients, you have to wear a mask, and so does the staff now as well at all times. So if you're around the Stoke Mandeville Hospital area, or you're going in there, please. Look after our NHS staff and carers, and key workers, and please wear a mask. And as well, making your own mask. How much was that mask, by the way, Mayor, that you purchased?
It was a few quid. I can't remember how much exactly.
More than a fiver?
Huh? More than a fiver. Yeah.
More than a fiver.
I could have made one a lot cheaper, and if I'd made the effort, I could have done.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I made it because I'm a big child, so I made mine obviously to say, look, this is how you can make one. And I do know. I mean, having two young children back in the day, you do have to learn to be creative because the school sets tasks and you start to learn how to do arts and stuff. And you know, to make that mask that I created, which literally is just, you know, a bit of cloth about that big, you know, like a tea towel, and you can fold it over and then put it over, and it's as good as it's what the Surgeon General in America does. I thought, let's make it nice and easy so people don't worry and don't try and buy face masks that the NHS need and carers and key workers, because they're the people who really need it. We only need it temporarily while we're out and about. They need it quite a lot with the people. So, but again, I have no issues if people buy them. I wouldn't say, oh, you're just being lazy. It's some people aren't that creative, and I'm not, but I had to be. So being a single dad, it's one of those things you kind of have to learn. And my mates are like, you know, really, you created that? And I'm like, yeah, I did actually. And then have some fun about it. Yeah, so we got the hospitals, and basically I was just going over the deaths. There's 352 deaths in the Buckinghamshire area, unless you've got more than that. Do you know?
No, I've got exactly the same figure: 1,022 cases, 352 deaths.
Yeah, I did find a site ages ago, and it seems to have disappeared on me, which told me it broke it down per area in, you know, by postcode, which was very interesting. So you could see, and I looked all around Aylesbury, and there was pretty much every area, like Bedgrove, Southcourt, you know, Berryfields. They all had a case there. So this goes back to, again, thank you for your time and for, you know, for actually making it really fun as well, by the way. So
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I don't know about the rest of the audience, but we enjoy ourselves, don't we, Martin?
Exactly. Nobody can say you didn't try and put information out there. Nobody can say Aylesbury Town Council wasn't interactive with, obviously, the residents. I think, you know, by allowing us to obviously interact, it also, I think, gives information to people as well. And I've had a couple of people who've asked a couple of questions to me, and I've said, just look on FBL Broadcast and YouTube. It's on there. It's already been answered. And if you can't be bothered to watch, then I'm not going to tell you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was only joking. They were like, "Oh, I missed that one," but Carol says she's enjoying it as well. So, Carol's asking GP. Carol's saying GP surgeries are open as well. I might have to employ her as my PR or something, or somebody who has information. She's doing. She actually
fresher information than we've got.
Pardon?
She's got fresher information that we've got in some areas.
Yeah, but we're actually live, and you know she's sat there probably playing around with all the tech that she's got. But I do thank her. She actually joined and actually helped me start up the Bucks debate, which is something I'm going to try and push forward on every week, where people from anywhere in the world, but mainly we'll start it off with Bucks and just chat for how many hours or how many minutes. It all depends on how it all goes, but let people kind of understand, you know, they can talk, they can, you know, I know a few people, I can do a few things, and I can you know, if people start telling me and you start to feel that, I don't know, that something's really upsetting them, then I can push forward and I can ask, for instance, and you know, I don't mind asking, for instance, if they thought the police weren't doing enough, then I'd try and contact the police and say, you know, that's just one of the things. Or, and you know me with Centrevax, I'm trying to push forward and trying to help them get some funding. I just like to help everybody. So there we go. Is there, I mean, times are critical today. We've got, I say, another 2 minutes, but is there anything you would, no,
I can give you another 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to be on something else at 1:45, and I just need a few minutes. So let's go for 10 more minutes.
Okay. Oh, wow. I feel privileged. Thank you. Youth concern. Oh, is it because I mentioned youth concern? Is that why? Youth concern. Now, I did think about this again. I'm just going to throw up their logo so that people know what they look like. You know, what it looks like when they see it all over the place. I like to give them retina burn, as I call it. So, is youth concern kind of opened up now? Is it, you know, having people obviously social distancing? Is there anything more that they're doing now that the boundaries are coming down by the government?
They're not doing the face-to-face counselling or their drop-in centre, which is their normal regular service. Things are still being done online and over the phone. I'm not sure quite when they're going to feel ready to open their premises. The thing is, it's trying to run a service like that on an appointment system or restricting the numbers is quite a difficult thing, because they're dealing with young people who aren't always the best at organising themselves, and where they're young people with chaotic lives and difficult situations, sometimes they just want to turn up, have a cup of coffee, hang about, and if they then feel like talking to someone and opening up about an issue that's on their mind, they will do that. So just opening the doors and say, come in when you want to and when you're able to, that's difficult to manage. And we've got to recognise that social distancing is still the recommended thing. Obviously, it's not being adhered to in all situations, but a responsible organisation like Youth Concern will no doubt be saying we've got to work by the rules, and they are still providing a really valuable service, and a lot of young people are still getting the help they need, which is great to see.
And it's good to hear. I mean, the money obviously has been an issue, isn't it, for them, for you to try and raise that in this crisis, and they're working the best that they can. But there is do we have the telephone number? I don't know, but I'm just going to throw it up on the screen. Let's get rid of that. I don't know if I can. There we go. youthconcern.org.uk. So if you're watching this and you're feeling obviously things are getting to you and you need help, or you'd like to speak to somebody, you can gather all your information there from that website. And I'll just see if I got the number. Or do you know the number off by heart, Mayor? Oh, here we go. I think it's here.
Yeah. Have you found it?
I think it's... Oh, no, I don't. It's just a shame. That's the only thing about this software, is I can't always see everything. It's obviously I'm limited because I've got a lot of other things showing up. But obviously, is that at the bottom? I think it is. Maybe somebody... Oh, here we go. 01296 431 183, I think. When the chat is unavailable, it says. Right at the bottom on the right-hand corner. I didn't see that. So
Yeah, that sounds a familiar number.
So, there we go. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting old that sometimes I don't see, or maybe it's because I'm male. I don't know. A few women say that to me. Open the cupboard, it's not there. Close it. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it's a shame they can't open the doors, I suppose, with all the stuff that is going on. But I'm sure you'll let us know when they do, I suppose. But then again, I suppose it's down to the government, isn't it, when they lift the restrictions?
I think we've got to follow government guidance. I mean, there's social distancing possibly be reduced to 1.5 metres or 1 metre. I think it's mainly the sort of pubs and restaurants that are lobbying for that. But if that is changed, and if that is seen as still maintaining public safety, then a lot of organisations will then have scope to open on a reduced basis, but still being able to provide a service to a reasonable number of people. It's all going to be very gradual, isn't it?
From what they said today, definitely. I do think we've got a long way to go. But the thing is, family. Families is a big thing, and there's outside pressures that, again, I do think family will do more to protect each other than, for instance, somebody you may work with. And I think the government, personally, I think the government's wrong in not, especially, you know, when they said these, you know, people can go back to work if they can't work from home. I personally think they should have said, you know, at least give a couple of weeks. Say, right, okay. I mean, I think Boris did it. Sorry, I keep calling him Boris. I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but Prime Minister said, at the end of the day, just think and use your noddle, basically. And I thought that was nice. He did say that, but they could have done that a lot earlier. It's like, look, I know if I'm going to see a family member, and I know if they're prone to obviously getting the virus badly, I'm going to make sure that I've been definitely not near anybody for 5 days or 7 days. You know, there's certain things I won't go shopping. I'll do more to try and protect them than as if, for instance, it ain't been fun if I was popping around your house. It would be, you know, for a barbecue. I mean, all the people in the MPs and all the advisors seem to be doing that. So it's sorry, I couldn't resist, especially after I going on about the Cummings. But I do think that was yeah. But look, it's one of those things. You just got to deal with what card you're given, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right about the family situation being the one that I think is bugging quite a few people. I mentioned before, I'm in that situation. I don't live with my partner. Each of us live entirely on our own. We've both been working from home for 12 weeks, but we are still not able to visit each other's houses, even though that feels to me like it ought to be a very safe situation. So we are every time there's a possible announcement of any relaxation, we're waiting. Will it be the one that we want?
Yeah,
not yet.
I do think Boris did state the other day, basically, just use your noddle. Just, you know, and I'm sure the advisors were looking at him from either side going, can you not say that? But he did. But one quick thing, Carol has just messaged, or commented, should I say. I mean, she just wants to hug her family. Her brother did pass a few weeks ago from COVID. But how did the protest go this weekend? Was there any damage? That's an interesting question.
The protest in Aylesbury was entirely peaceful, I believe.
Good to hear.
I think it was about 1,000 people. It actually went past the end of my road. I went out and had a look. It was loud, and there were plenty of people, but they seemed to have marshals alongside them. The police had already said that they were happy to facilitate a peaceful protest, and I think that's what it was. I don't think anyone will pretend that social distancing happened.
Right.
But when you get 1,000 people all trying to do the same thing, I can understand that's going to be pretty difficult. But I think, I support the movement. I thought about whether to go on the protest. In the end, decided not to. I think something very loud and very decisive needs to be said at this stage, and it's terrible that it's come at a time when we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are saying, rightly, we don't want and we can't have large gatherings. But I think it's reached the point where people feel, well, what else can we do? What else can we do to be listened to? And the movement just seems to be, it's grown, it's not, nobody's seeing it as just America's problem. It's happening everywhere, and it's all nationalities, groups, people that have never been on a protest in their life have decided now is the time, some kind of a statement. So, yeah, I'm very much on the fence about it, but we had a peaceful day on Saturday here in Aylesbury, but very well attended, and hopefully those voices will be taken notice of.
I think they will. I think it was all over the world, wasn't it? There was demonstrations. So, I mean, today Minneapolis police are redoing an organisation from the top down to sort it all out. But we are out of time, and I don't want to hold you up on your next meeting actually as well. So
Okay.
Once again, thank you very much. Maybe we can put this up in the next interview or broadcast or whatever we want to call it. And stay safe.
And you too, Martin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.